Good morning. It is, and then 26th of May, 2026. Hi, how are you? um, I just wanted to come in here again and do another live. I'm going to try and make this a bit more regular because this is, oh, look at that. I just went up to the post box. Sorry. Since I've gotten older, my hair's got a life of its own and it kind of goes every which way. So brush it back, but it doesn't behave itself. So I'm forever straightening it. I'm a Leo. I have a mane, right? I hope you're well. Again, sorry, I'm bumping the table. I just wanted to because I was just thinking about, I know I center myself a bit in videos. I had a conversation with Spirit about this, and people have commented about it, me talking about myself. Some people really love my stories, and I was because I'm possibly neurodivergent. This is what my own health team tells me that I should get tested. My son has it, and I can see because I've got all the symptoms and all that, and hypermobility and all that kind of stuff in our family on my side. So what's going that? So I suppose my way, I was speaking to a friend last night, my way of explaining things that I like to teach, because, through experience and wisdom is life experiences as examples. But I definitely am not a self-centered person. I'm a very altruistic, very kind, very warm-hearted, very giving person. And but yeah, but I want to make these things more about you, because this is coming away from I used to do a lot of psychic lines, and everything was about my clients. It wasn't about me. It was always about everyone else. So coming back to myself and finding my voice again about me, and I need to come back to focusing on other people. And I do that with altruism and love, obviously, and wisdom, which comes with age. But as my grandmother used to say, what I was born knowing, she could see it in me. My mum always told me that story. But like I said, without me talking about myself, I'm talking about you guys. But what I also wanted to chat about today is spirituality good or bad? And I was just watching it. Just funny, I was thinking about it, and then I what do you call it? A video on Instagram was talking about it. There's this girl that does the divining rods, and she was asking them, is it good or bad? And I'm not going on what she says, because I kind of, have my own beliefs, and my beliefs can, what she believed was what I believe. So at the end of the day, it's like with religion, it's like spirituality. I am spiritual more than I'm religious. Like I said to you, I'm Christo-pagan, I'm a Christian witch. So I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and I believe in Mary, and I believe in the cinema, and the angels, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure you probably have somewhere on the line similar belief systems, if you follow me. What I'm trying to say is that my path. I do not conform, and I do not take on other people's beliefs. I make up my own mind. I make up my own decisions. I take in lots of information, and I use that. So I think, I see this in people I talk to, that they have their own belief system, and we're either the same or completely different or anything in between. But at the end of the day, it's not what you believe so much, it's the intent behind it. You can believe in one, you can be monotheistic, you can have one belief in one God, or you can be pantheistic and have a belief in many gods. You can have a belief in angels. You can have more Buddhist beliefs. Buddhism isn't a religion, but it's a belief system, but it's treated like a religion because a lot of people do relate to it. And I've gone down the avenue of researching a lot about cults, religious cults in particular. I've had experience with it. And it's fascinating, because anything that has more than two people in it that becomes quite influential, and you feel as though you're kind of caught up in someone else's belief system, that can be more cult-like. But that's not what I came here to talk about. What I'm saying is spirituality good or bad? The reason I brought up that cult aspect is because you are then becoming absorbed into a group mindset. You're not individual. So my perspective, why I was saying that, is because if you have a path of like, I'm a head witch, or someone who does things alone, a solitary witch, if you are solitary, you can still blend with the main pagan group or the main spiritual group, but you still maintain your identity, your own identity. You look at Wicca, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not Wiccan, and that's more. This is the way it's described to me. It's more religious like, because you have the high priest and high priestess, the representation of the divine masculine and divine feminine, and so there's more rituals in it. And they're more rigid, sort of not rigid, disciplined, I suppose, sort of rituals in Wicca that they follow. Whereas if you're in a different kind of, if you're witchcraft's been around longer than Wicca. Wicca is a modern knockoff. And that was kind of 100 years ago that was developed, or thereabouts, 80 years ago, maybe. And so, you're looking at Gardnerian and influences of, Gardnerian and, you got all the old ones. You got the old witches from way back, connected to the Golden Dawn, all that kind of stuff. The point is that it's how you use it. And if you are benevolent, it's the same with religion, mind you. You can be good in religion or you can be bad and pretend to be good. But anything where you're using a tool with the divine, with the spirit around you, it's up to you and how you use it. And I've I've spoken to a lot of people over the years. People saying, "Oh, I'm a healthy shade of grey." So I know you've got to understand the dark. You've got to understand it. I don't think you have to, I don't agree that you have to be a healthy shade of grey to have 1 foot in each. Yes, you can read up about it. Yes, you can. I've had conversations with people on that side of things. I'm on the light side. I don't care what people think. I am a white witch. I poo-poo that. I don't care. That's what I choose. Not for you, fine. Move on. But you do need to understand how the dark works. Now, that's the whole conversation together. I don't want to get into that because it's, just move that a bit so you can see more. Just see the top of my head. It's a big subject. I've read a lot of books on it, and I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I'll be here forever, and I've got an appointment in a short while. But I would highly stress that you become, because I was just talking to someone about it, and they're kind of new to spirituality, and they're very gifted, and they've actually 2 or 3 people to speak like that, and they're attracting stuff to them, and they're not protecting themselves, and they're kind of unaware that this stuff goes on. And when you go into spiritual development, and I do teach psychic development. I have done in the past. I developed a course, and I still got the curriculum somewhere which I can use, and I might dig it out and find it and use it. Good idea. I have that many hobbies. Anyway, so if you do want to get into spirituality, or if you're in the start of it, or if a lot of people who are watching this will already be in it and have been in it for a long time and may know what I'm saying. Like, yeah, let's get on with it. If you know this stuff, move on. This is for the people who maybe don't realize. So, but spirituality is not good or bad. It is something there to be utilized. And these are people who can use it for the wrong reasons. And they draw on heavy dark. Some people, I find, in the 30 years I've been doing this, some people believe they're working in the light, but they're actually playing with the more darker, heavy energies because it's trendy. And they're a bit oblivious to it, and they attract stuff to them. That's when you get attachments and entities and that connected to you. So you got to do constant cleansing with your aura and your chakras and making sure you're gridding the place. I grid this place and I make sure it's protected. I do need to keep it up, and I need to sort of do more with it, but it's a case of, and you talk about psychic attack, all that kind of stuff, and curses. I said this in the other video. Curses, hexes, crosses, jinxes, all that stuff. Things where people, can do spells on you, banishing spells, binding spells. You got the voodoo, the hoodoo and stuff like with the pins and the puppets, and I keep away from that. But I have read a lot. I'm not the authority, but I have 30 years experience in this, maybe 58 and a half, 50, I'm nearly 59 years of experience with it, really, because I've experienced stuff since I was a child. I just, at the time, it was just part of life. I didn't develop. I didn't know. I just kind of was Lisa and went along in life. But I know that my intention is really good. I know that the more seasoned you become, the more powerful you become. The power is always there. Like with you, the power is always there. It's not that you're not strong now, but the more the more you become experienced, the more of a weapon you become. And the trick is, do you see yourself as a weapon, or do you see yourself as a benevolent, altruistic person? I tend to try and stay in altruism and working hard at using things for the right of good. I always send a prayer after people. The weirdest thing is when the delivery man drops, the Woolies man drops my food delivery off, or a courier drops something off here, I'll always say drive safely. And I wonder why I always did that. You know, maybe it's my neurospiciness, repetitive, saying the same thing. But I realized I was doing a bit of a spell, like I was sort of saying, wishing them well, be safe, because this is a treacherous road. Coming in and out of this driveway is chaotic. And the other thing is when I do, stories about myself. I'm what's known as a fiber witch, which means when I do my crochet, I'm weaving wishes into and good into there. I always do my prayer work while I do my crochet, so the person who receives them has a blessing with them. Like I said, things can be used for good or bad, and you don't want to piss a witch off. You don't want to piss a witch off, trust me. But I choose to use my ability for good, so that's the main thing. But if you have tarot cards, if you have pendulums, if you have stay away from Ouijas if you can, Ouija boards. But I always use, when I use my cards, when I use my pendulum, I always use prayer work to protect it, to ensure the right thing comes through. Mindfulness is important too, being completely mindful about what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Don't go into bitchiness, or like in my readings, when I used to do readings on psychic line, people wanted to bitchiness. Is she going to leave her? Is he going to leave her? That kind of stuff. And I'm not poo-pooing it, because everyone that rang on the psychic line needed the support, and I was quite happy to give it. But it was quite kind of a heavy, darker energy, because there's so many people with so much grief and so much pain and so much neediness that you had to make sure as a psychic that you had to keep your aura and chakras cleansed, that you didn't take it on. They call it compassionate disconnection. So you're kind of compassionate in the moment, but you can disconnect at the end of it, so you don't take it away with you. Because it's literally energy. Thought forms energy. So whatever you use, the tarot and all that, like I said, if your intention is only good, but you're also very responsible in how you use it, you will get good results. If you're lax, lazy, what's the word for it? Undisciplined, you can attract the negative energies in. If you have malintent, just remember, what you sow, you shall reap. And so what you do to someone else will come back to you. It is karma. See, my glasses are still crooked. Like I said, I'm going to the optometrist on Friday, so you might see me with different glasses next week. I was laughing, just have a look. I look like a crazy witch. I am a crazy witch. I was saying to someone yesterday, I was talking to the girl at the coffee shop, and we're having a good laugh. And I was saying that my neighbour was scared of me because I laugh loudly and I swear. I look like a meek little woman, but I'm sorry, I can't stop it. It's just funny. But I think, just don't be frightened of this. The thing is with the opposition, with the dark, it's always relying on you being scared of it, and that's how it gets its foothold in. So using the tools with good intention, calling on the highest divine sources of all good, however you're praying it, keeping your focus on altruistic intent, the tools will do your bidding. But cleanse your tools as well. I tend to not smudge as much these days. I used to smudge with sage or incense, but I'm not wary about smoke alarms these days. I don't like the sound of that, but I don't want to set them off. So, and I could do it outside. There's not a problem. I could do it outside. I used to do it outside, but you can use light. I used to fill my tarot cards up with white gold light, matching them being cleansed, or crystals you can put in water. Not all crystals, like selenite and malachite and a few other things, you can't put in water. They dissolve and they can be toxic as well. So when you put crystals in water, to energize your water, don't use things like malachite. What's the other ones? Like I said, selenite. There's a few that could be quite toxic, because malachite is actually just copper. It's connected copper. It's the green. I think it's connected copper. It's found with copper. So it can be a toxicity that leaches into the water. Anyway, so I can't go on for too much longer, because I do, like I said, have a meeting on soon. But I'll do some cards. But yeah, no, I don't believe spirituality is good or bad. I think it's how you use it, and it's your intention. And if you're good intention, then that's that. But most importantly, do a lot of research on psychic protection if you're doing spiritual work. I can't stress that enough. learn what it feels like to you to be attacked, to be poked, to have your aura poked, because people do try to poke me to sort of read me. And I've actually stood up to people quite easily, and confronted them and said, "You were doing that." And like, "Oh, how did you know?" But it's just, you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. You can feel it, and you can feel it in your thoughts and what have you. And it sounds a bit crazy, but you should read it in a lot of books anyway. You see that what I talk about is basically backed up by other people anyway, so it's not just me that says it. Just quickly, the cards we've got today for someone out there. Queen of Swords reversed. Sorry, guys. So Queen of Swords reversed. So this means someone's being a bit too heavy-handed. Don't feel like it's a negative person. If it's you, then it's maybe, this is usually a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini woman, over 40. She's a very, well, she can be, they don't have any princesses in the tarot, do they? So this is a queen, is just an older, well, she's a woman. She doesn't have to be an older woman like me. She could be a woman, 25 onwards, but the queens as being over 40 because they're warrior. She's a warrior queen, so she's been through battles. But when they're reversed, it just says to me that when I'm tuning into it psychically, if you're a bit scattered, you're not yourself, and you need to get yourself back in focus. I feel a sense of vulnerability, which is odd for a Queen of Swords because you're usually quite invincible. But please, please, please breathe, rest. I get the feeling that you don't need to push right now. You feel like you need to. You feel like you need to take action. What am I doing? I can't sit on laurels here. It won't happen if I don't do it myself. Sit and wait and breathe. You're not feeling connected today. Feel connected. This is a moon Libra, by the way. So reconnect with the divine. Reconnect with and we're coming up to a full moon as well. So reconnect with the mother moon. There's a lack of trust in self or in others. There's distrust, or there's a sense of vulnerability. Again, this is what I was saying with the Queen of Swords reverse. So just remind yourself who you are. Straighten that frigging crown. You are a strong queen, warrior queen. You can do this, okay? And you've got all the skills, the magician card. My golly gosh, I'm trying to not swear, okay? Me, a naughty girl for swearing. I swear all the time. So they got the magician. Now he's hand to the skies, and the other hand, the right hand to the skies, and the left hand to the earth. So he's straddling between heaven and earth, and so there's a sense of drawing down the energy into him. But you can see all the tools in front of him: the chalice, the pentacle, swords, and the rods, and he's got all the skills and he uses them. This is basically reminding you, again, straighten that fucking crown. You have got everything you need within you. Don't ever see yourself as less than the Queen of Swords, okay? You've got all the skill in you. Use it. Moon card. This came up yesterday, didn't it? So the moon card, again, is psychic ability, gifted. I think that we're talking about that today, isn't it? About good and bad and spirituality and psychic protection. So usually when this card's reversed, it's talking about psychic attack. But the moon of swords, the moon upright is saying to me that you're very gifted, and don't forget that. Okay, you are protected. You use your psychic gift, and don't believe the bullshit around you. You know your own knowing. Trust your own knowing. Okay. Keeping it real. So the second card reverse is saying keeping it real. It's an imagination card, this, but when it's reversed, it's saying here, right, it's time to keep it real. Don't get caught in your imagination, because you may have some doubt what you were seeing and feeling and perceiving. Start trusting yourself now. No, now keep it real. Last card, the Ace of Swords. Right? The Ace of Swords is the initiation card. So it's about initiating or starting, taking the lead. Start initiating something now. Don't wait for others to lead you. But the other meaning of the card that I usually see when I get this card is courage. Find your courage. That's all it takes. Get the courage. Courage is not diving in full bore with your sword swinging. Courage can be stubborn forward movement that nobody else needs to know about. You know yourself so well. You're not going to let someone sway from your goals and your focus. So keep your eye on the prize of what you want, and have courage. All right. There you go. Those are your cards for the day. Them's your lots, as my mum would say. Today, sorry, I'm talking about myself again. Today is 9 years since my mum passed. And I've had quite a synchronistic day with clients today, going through similar things. So It's I can't talk about it's private stuff, but it's just a general theme of the day. I spoke about Nichi. So I'm honouring Mum today. She's in my thoughts, and working hard to prove that her giving birth to me and my obviously my brothers as well, that everything I do is that it was never in vain. That all of it was a work towards something good. So it's a legacy. So I'm trying to carry my mum and my dad's legacy forward. They always come up in my readings and in my counselling sessions. Sometimes I try not to bring myself in too much, but sometimes people need that relatability, and um, it does come in sometimes. So people passing on, people we lose, people they never die, and because I'm a psychic medium, I know they're around me anyway. I know they're there. I speak to them all the time, and they leave me signs. I hope you're well. Look after yourselves. I'll try and do a bit more another day. Again, you are my focus. I talk about myself, but it's usually because it's only me here, apart from Luna. Where's Luna? She's up there. And Salem's in the room. I found Salem this morning underneath I've got this big anorak with lined with fleece. And I throw him because I know he likes to lie underneath it. And I couldn't find him. And I found him underneath it. And his little face popped out. And he just looked at me like, "Don't disturb me. I'm quite happy here, please." So animals are so cute. I hope you're well, and I'll do more layouts there. I've got to find the mouse now. Where's the mouse gone? My mouse goes to sleep, and I have to wake it up. See you guys. Bye.